Hey loves, and welcome to another video. We are getting straight into it. Today we are going to be talking about the benefits of discomfort, or as my good sister Joey would say, going out to fetch pain. We are doing a burgundy look because we are in the Christmas spirit, so let's get right into it.
Love like a mountain that cannot be moved. Just as an eagle, I found freedom in you, a peace which brings me.
So, why would we want to be uncomfortable or to go and fetch discomfort? It is simple. We learn self awareness when we are uncomfortable. We also build resilience and we build motivation, because once you have gotten through a certain situation, you always come out of it with some things. So let's start with the thinking capabilities of the brain. We have three. The first one is the rudimentary, which is when you only concentrate or are limited to the basic principles. Then we have the efficiency, whereby you go to the next level in order for you to be efficient in what you're doing. Then we have the third level, this level of discomfort. And in this one, you exert more energy. So naturally, our bodies and our minds don't like to be uncomfortable because we're exerting more energy. I always like to refer back to our ancestors and evolution, because there is a reason why the things that might be good for us now were avoided and are unnatural. Remember, our ancestors lived in a life of scarcity. They were hunting, they were gathering. At some points, they couldn't actually find food for days on end. And so they tried to reserve their energy in any way, shape, and form possible. And so they didn't need to get into this level of discomfort because they didn't want to use the energy that they didn't have. But for us, we have that energy, and we are living in a society that is ever evolving. Last week we were talking about technology, and in order for you to evolve in a place where we moved from a hunter-gatherer society to a horticultural society to an agricultural society to an industrial society, and now we are in the digital society, you have to learn to break the patterns that you have learned before in order for you to progress. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Which leads me to the point of pushing boundaries. There are a number of benefits that you will get physically, emotionally, psychologically when you push boundaries. But the most important part of that is you realize that there is no boundary. When you get to a point where you thought that was the finish line or that was your goal, you understand that there's something else or something new to do tomorrow. So what it does is it shows you all your capabilities, and it helps you to push through those capabilities, thereby seeing your end points as a starting point, and it helps you grow. I know we're always talking about trusting the process, but we also have to look at it from a different standpoint. What are we learning from that process? If you jot down how you maneuvered to get out of a certain challenge through learning different patterns, then that would make it easier for you to use those patterns in a similar challenge or in a different challenge. So, life is not always about the destination. Of course, we love a good finish line and an end point, but it's also about the journey and how we grow throughout the journey. Life is about learning and unlearning patterns. What we might have known or understood 5-6 years ago might change with age, or it might change with experience, and that's actually a good thing. But we have to make sure that we are actually learning something from the challenges that we are going through. And usually that doesn't happen when you have rudimentary thinking, or when you are exhibiting the same patterns, you are going through the same routine. That happens when you step out of your comfort zone and you actually embrace the discomfort that comes from learning new things, going through different situations, and therefore creating new patterns for yourself. Okay, we are done with the eyes for now. Let's move on to foundation while we speak about resilience and how we get that from discomfort. I did a video a long time ago about how I don't want to be the strong woman anymore, because being strong has a lot of connotations, but being resilient, that's what I'm working towards. And I am in some aspects. Resilience is defined as the ability to bounce back from a setback, or the ability to heal after something has been broken. And the best example that people use is that when you break a bone, the new one that grows is always stronger. So that is the best definition, I think, and the example that we can have of resilience. And it also ties into what we spoke about, self-awareness. Once you go through a situation that is uncomfortable, and like I said, as human beings, we try and avoid uncomfortable situations at all costs. But imagine that you have gotten into a situation that you cannot control and it is uncomfortable, and maybe you've lost hope, or it's so painful for you to get to the finish line. You're going through a lot of suffering. We're talking about emotional, physical, psychological pain. And just when you thought you were going to give up, you don't. And you get over it and you jump that hurdle. That creates so much self-awareness about you, about the type of person you are. A person that doesn't give up, that stays on it, that is disciplined. And that means that you have evidence prior in your life now that when a situation comes, I can overcome it. You also have evidence that you're not one to give up. So whatever situation is going to come to you after that, you already know that you have the tools, you have the capabilities to go through those situations. It doesn't make the situation easier, but it at least gives you hope that you're going to get over it. Okay, so we're going to move to contour. I would like to, at this juncture, differentiate between discomfort and true pain, because I don't want this to be interpreted as I'm saying that people should actually go looking for true pain. I'm saying that it's okay to feel a little bit of discomfort, because that's where you grow. Discomfort is the feeling of being uneasy, and it's usually because you are in an unfamiliar situation. You are going through something you haven't before. And I'll give the example of physical fitness. It's something you haven't done before. You're in an environment that is new. People are looking at you. Some of them are looking at you because they're concerned. They don't want you to hurt yourself. And then there's just some mean people that are looking at you because they can see that you don't know what you're doing. But in this situation, you have to go through the discomfort of feeling uneasy, feeling like you don't know what you're doing, in order for you to progress to actually knowing what to do. The same thing with running. You're not going to run a 21K immediately. You're going to start with 1K. That's going to be difficult. Then you're going to build the resilience that is going to move you to 2, 3, 4, 5K, 6K, 21K. I don't know if I'm ever going to build to that resilience. Actually, no, let me not say that. At some point in my life, I really do want to run a marathon. In conclusion, whilst we do the lipstick, I am simply saying that be okay with being outside of your comfort zone, not all the time, but when the opportunity presents itself, don't be shy to say yes. If someone invites you to a run, or they invite you to a networking event, I know for someone like me who is not accustomed to being around a lot of new people, it might seem daunting, but imagine the type of networks that I can build in that situation. And sometime last year, a situation like that presented itself, and I did make a few connections. But all I'm trying to say is a little discomfort is good. It is going to teach you self-awareness, resilience, and it's going to be a motivator for you to take on other challenges. If you've gotten to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you thought about this and what you think about this look, and I will see you tomorrow or Monday. I'm not sure yet. But thank you so much.